Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I want to talk to you about sequencing, lag, backswing to transition. Labeling it is quite tricky because how hopefully I'm going to explain it will be something quite different to how you've perceived backswing to downswing transition before and how you use your levers. What I want us to appreciate is how much this club head is constantly moving, obviously, but also the freedom at which the club head is trying to move. I'm never trying to put this head in any particular spot. And this video comes to you today from a client I had yesterday that really had the visual and the belief that the head needs to be placed behind the ball. And what I mean by that is his feels were of placing club head to ball. And of course, he was a right-handed golfer and he was biased with his right hand. So he was trying to put the head onto the ball. Putting the head onto the ball made his impact condition look something along the lines of this. Head forwards, handle back, loads of dynamic loft, and actually had been really quite a bad chanker. We're working through that, but understanding how this head weight must react. So I want to talk to you about how the golf club moves halfway back, from halfway back, transitions and moves down. So it's quite a big area, and hopefully I can cover it in my usual 10 or 15 minute video clip. The left arm is what I want to draw your attention to. Now, hopefully you watch my grip video, the essential grip guide, because I think that's a huge video for everybody to see and get their heads around. I spoke about the left hand and the pad of this left hand. I'm also going to take the fingers off of my left hand as well. I'm therefore propping that golf club up through the pad of my left hand and my forefinger. As I move the golf club away, I'm just going to put that hand behind my back. As I move that golf club away, the handle pressure is down through my left arm. The more I put the handle pressure down, you can see how the golf club tries to stand itself up on the way back. I'm using my right foot to start to open up my right hip. Again, these are all videos that I've done, so do go back and check them all. Now as I start to work the golf club up, this club head is going, and if I exaggerate it, if the handle's moving in and I'm keeping the pressure down in the grip, you can appreciate that this club is trying to stay this side of the head, this side of the handle. It's early. This head is trying to stay this side of the handle. Then as I start to move my hand upwards, this club head is trying to swing itself behind me. The club head has moved from the golf ball back behind me. It can get there in a multitude of ways. Many of you will be swinging it in and up. Then there'll be some people trying to push it out and then the club head will swing in. But fundamentally that arm needs to track in. Depending on the pressure of the handle, the club shaft will stand up a little bit more in the backswing, and then as I start to lift my arm up, we can see how that head weight is pulling my left forearm into, and I don't want to use fancy words, but it's trying to internally rotate my left forearm. And in doing that, that head weight then starts to change the pitch and plane of that club shaft on the way down. Very different to how it looks. If the club swings in, we invariably see a steepening. Trying to hold the shaft back and trying to rotate, which are all of the things that I see on videos. It is, anytime you're trying to hold the golf club back, it's like, well, when do I let it go? You hold something back. If there's a hold point, there has to be a push point. Hold it back, push it. Well, golf swing's happening far too fast for me for that. So I'm trying to make this golf club really do whatever it wants to do as a reaction to what I'm trying to do with the handle. I'm never trying to hold the club head back. Therefore, the track of the handle and the pressure on the handle at the start, the mobility of my body, starts to make the golf club try to stand up. As I start to then elevate my handle, we can appreciate now that the club shaft is trying to lay itself back down. Now, as the club shaft is trying to lay itself back down, I'm pulling the handle forwards. The club head is trying to fall backwards. And now all of a sudden I'm left with a club shaft that's very shallow. I've not held anything back. I've just made the club head react to the pressure and trace that I'm putting on my handle. Therefore, when I make swings with my left hand only and my thumb is off the golf club, not on the golf club, my thumb is off the golf club, now the club head really has the opportunity to do whatever it wants to do based on the track that my handle is trying to move in. When I pull on the golf club forwards, because the club head is trying to swing back that way, as I'm pulling the handle forwards, as I say, pulls the club shaft into a laid down spot. Therefore, the pull point at the top of the backswing, which I've done a video on, you need to pull the club from the top, check that one out. When I pull on the golf club, the opportunity to pull the golf club in harmony with the rotation of my body, which comes from my feet and not from my pelvis, done a video on that one too, means that I can mobilize my body, I can pull my golf club, and the shaft is actually trying to now move around me. It's trying to move around me on a slightly inverted golf plane, golf pitch, call it what you will. So this club head, as I say, is reacting to how my arm is moving. This right arm that in the golf swing becomes, when the club shaft and the club face and the body is out of track, that right hand becomes the hitter of the golf ball, the one that salvages the golf club that's out of position. So when I hear of people talking about they're stuck, stuck is the symptom. You are stuck. But that symptom is actually trying to buy you time. So this look and feel of underneath the club is left behind you. It's left behind you mainly because you haven't pulled it. You haven't pulled it because the club is not orientated well enough in the pull phase. The face angle is not orientated well enough in the pull phase. You're not using your feet well enough in the pull phase. Yet everybody's trying to fix the stuckness. So the sequence of events that goes on in a downswing has to be the ecosystem of the golf swing that allows you to pull it hard, use your feet hard, and unload it appropriately. So trying to hold the golf club back just to fix the shaft inside out or fix the arm in front of you, it's faulty. You need to appreciate why and how you can pull the golf club, how you can move fast. But I think a good start point for people is to take the golf club, as I say, left arm only, take the thumb off the golf club, and what you'll start to feel is how this golf club now wants to pull the shaft a little shallower as long as the club head is trying to move backwards. Now when I pull it, I can use my feet to pull it around me, and actually you can start to hit some shots, if you're there and brave enough, look what I've produced. I've produced a 1.2 degrees of downstrike, path from the inside, the face angle is close to the path, all of the things that golfers would like to see in their golf swing. But what I'm not trying to do, I mean, look at that one. It's a little bit low on the face, but holy moly. 4.3 down, half a degree inside out, 0.5 one shut to path. Golfers would dream of those positions, but they're all trying to do it because they're trying to jam and fix the club into a spot. I jest, and look, we're all trying our best here, but you've got to understand that this club has to have freedom of movement. It can't be held back, folks, because all you're doing is driving the car with the handbrake on. Unfortunately, the right hand is a real salvage. It's trying to line the face up as best it can. And the more you try to rely on your right hand, it will overpower anything else going on. We can make a varied amount of types of golf swings. And look, I've hit the golf club pretty darn straight there just by making, using my iron hand to try to get the golf ball. But of course, when you take loft off and different golf clubs, that becomes more difficult because the lever arm becomes longer. The head weight has more influence on the rotations of the forearm and the body. It just becomes harder. Use this drill. Take the thumb off. Make the club head feel like it's pulling you a little bit more into these better spots that I've demonstrated and explained earlier on in the video, to understand that the head weight must have freedom of motion. Check and go back over how you saw the club head moving, how the handle track needs to start to move, so that you can start to understand backswing motion and downswing motion, and how you can, dare I say it because I don't like it, because it's like every time I see someone who wants to talk about it, sequence up your downswing. Stuck. I'm stuck. On the TV, he was stuck. Understand why people get stuck. The stuck is the symptom. Don't fix the stuckness. Anyway, hopefully that makes sense. I know it's perhaps unusual, some of the things I talk about, but hopefully they're equally logical, and I can demonstrate what I'm talking about with a reasonable level. If you've liked today's video, hit the like button. If you've got any thoughts on today's video, I always actively encourage you to comment because I really like hearing from you. Please share it with your friends, subscribe while you're here, and I look forward to seeing you, as usual, on the next one.